Today, let's look at my 5 most used Android apps. Stick around and we'll get right to it. Real quick, before we get going, I've got to give a shout out to these guys. They're my latest patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel, I'll leave a link to Patreon down in the description below. Hey, welcome back, guys. Jason, KM4ACK. About a year ago, I swapped from an iPhone, which I had been carrying for years, over to the Android platform. And since then, I've had to look at various replacement apps for those that I used all the time on the iPhone platform. Well, today we're going to take a look at the 5 most used apps now that I'm in the Android ecosystem. Alright, first up on the list is WoAD, and that's Winlink on Android. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I really miss the days that I was running Radio Mail. The interface to me is much better on Radio Mail, but that's not available to us on Android, so I've had to get used to WoAD. With that said, WoAD provides all of the functionality that I need for running Winlink with the Android device. One thing to keep in mind here, though, is you are limited to packet connections if you are only using the phone itself. Now, I think there is a way to tie this over a network to a computer that maybe is running another modem, but if you're running just the phone itself, well, you're going to be limited to packet connections. Now, the nice thing is this will work with the BTEC UV Pro, it will work with the VGC radio, it works with the Kenwood radios, it'll work with the MobiLink. So all of those have a Bluetooth interface to them, so you can easily pair your phone with whichever device you happen to be using and have Winlink ready to go on your phone at a moment's notice. Next up is RepeaterBook, and I find myself using this all the time. Maybe not as much when I'm around town, but as soon as I leave my home area, RepeaterBook is my go-to application, and that just lets me know where all of the repeaters are in whichever area I happen to be traveling. Now, one of the nice things about it is right up at the top, you see that funnel-looking icon, the 3 lines coming down. If we click on that, you can sort these out. So if you don't want to see any 6-meter repeaters or you don't want to see any 440 repeaters, well, you can just uncheck those boxes. Or you can put a check mark by everything and be able to see every possible option that you have. You can also limit the distance that it's going to show you. Right now, I typically just keep mine set at 100 miles. That's probably a little too far away, but that's where I typically keep mine. The other nice thing about it is it will sort those repeaters for you in order of closest to farthest away from you. Now, third up on the list is Callsign Lookup. And this is another one that does exactly what it says, and it's one that I find myself using quite a bit. So you just click on enter the call sign. Let's go ahead and put in my call sign here, and you will see that it immediately brings up the information from QRZ right here onto the front of the screen, so you can quickly and easily look up a call sign that you may want to know more information about. Number 4 on the list is GPSD Forwarder, and this is an absolutely fantastic app. It does exactly one thing, and it does one thing very, very well. In many of our digital applications, we need exact timing to make that digital mode work. Often we will also need GPS if we're trying to post a Winlink position report. GPSD Forwarder is used to take the GPS signal from your cell phone and wirelessly send that data over to a laptop that doesn't have a GPS connection. So by having this app on my phone, I can create a quick hotspot, or I can use a Wi-Fi network. Even if it doesn't have internet access, I can use those devices to tie this to my laptop. Now, I did a video several years back. If I can find that, I will leave a link to it down in the description below that shows you exactly how to set this up on a Linux device. But I very seldom carry a USB GPS device anymore because I'm always just using this on my phone if my radio doesn't have GPS built in already. Now, let's take a look at my most used app on the Android ecosystem, and then I'm going to give you guys a bonus because that one is actually becoming a close second. But the number one most used app on my phone is APRSdroid. I much prefer using APRSdroid with a radio instead of relying on the radio's built-in APRS. It just makes things like sending an APRS message so simple to do when you're using your phone instead of trying to key that message in, just using the 9 or 10 keys on an HT. Now, one thing I will say, don't download the stock version of APRSdroid. I'm going to leave a link to NA7Q's fork of APRSdroid down in the description below. He's built in several more functions to APRSdroid over the original, and he even gives us the ability to download and have offline maps on the device as well. And I did a deep dive on his version of APRSdroid. I'll leave a link to those 3 videos down in the description below. But once you get used to using APRSdroid on the phone, you will not want to go back to using it with just a radio. The other app that rivals APRSdroid in being my most used app is Meshtastic. I have gotten to where I carry a Meshtastic device with me on a regular basis, and I keep the phone connected to that Meshtastic node over Bluetooth. And I've been surprised when I'm just using one of these little Seed Studio trackers how much traffic I'm seeing on Meshtastic. In the last 2 weeks, I've been in 2 different cities, probably 40 miles apart, and gotten messages from different Meshtastic operators in both of those cities. So it is something that's starting to pick up steam. And it's one of the reasons that Meshtastic is becoming one of my favorite apps on Android. If you found today's information helpful, be sure to leave us a thumbs up before you head off. We will see you guys on the next one. Until then, 7-3.